Behind the Shades.
So Kim, so that's a beautiful way to describe it because it looks like you did a little bit of self-evaluation, right? You
Mhm.
understood that, hey, I can't do this anymore. I can't give my energy this way to my job. I can't give it this way to my relationship. I can't give it this way to my kids. I can't give the world this version of Kim anymore because
Yeah.
it's not sustainable. And I remember a time where, and maybe you went through this as well, I was trying to accomplish so much in my life, from work to friends to family to whomever. The girl that I was dating at that time, right?
Hmm.
And part of me trying to do that was I was trying to fix every wrong in the world. I was trying to answer every call in the world. Basically, I was trying to please every single person in the world. And then one day I looked at myself and I said, Terrain, you're not sleeping the way you should be sleeping. You're not eating the way you should be eating. You're not enjoying life the way you should be enjoying it, regardless of the type of success that you had. And then, like you, I took a step back and I said, this is not for me. The
Hmm.
person that I am becoming, I don't like. And better yet, the person that I think I am going to be, continuing to do this, is not someone that I would love. When you look
Yeah,
back at the transformation that you had, or these some of the type of revelations you had to yourself, like, I don't love this Kim. I don't like this Kim. The person that I think I'm going to become, I don't want to be that person.
absolutely. Like you said it all right there. And it was, like I said, it was defeating. It was depressing. But the whole time I'm like, everything's great. Everything's great. But on the inside, nothing was great. And, I would say when we're trying to lie to ourselves, I would say that breeds that anxiety and it just fuels all of those negative sensations that, again, continue to send us the message, I'm not okay. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. But I want it to be good so badly. And I hated every second of it. I mean, to being completely honest, it was miserable. I mean, there was times I'm like, I don't even know if I'm surviving. Like, if breathing is surviving, I get that. But I was operating at like such a bare minimum level, which, I mean, as you can see now, like I don't operate at bare minimum. I'm energetic. I'm excited. I am passionate. And that's who I was before I lost all of that, trying to do everything, but not very well, obviously. Um, and so it's applicable to anyone in life, to be honest. I mean, just like you're not a working mom, but we go through these phases, right? And like I said, I'm super passionate about working moms because that is me. Like I can be so relatable about how do you deal with all the womanhood stuff that comes along with childbirth and keeping your career going and trying to maintain all of the things. And if I'm not doing it well, what's the point? Um, and that was always kind of that question. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, where did I lose my purpose? Where did I lose the meaning? Like I knew, like consciously, I felt like I knew what that still was, but everything on the inside and subconsciously, it wasn't there. And so it was it was hard. It was hard. I say life is hard. I will never convince anyone that even having this type of a mindset where you can do these things by just making small tweaks in different areas of your life, still life is hard, right? But you know where to put your energy when it's hard. You know where to put your energy when it's great. But most of us don't live in great. We don't live in cupcake rainbow land a lot. When we do, I'm like, soak it up, live it up. But I don't expect that Because if I did, I'd fail most days. I have to embrace like being okay is still a good place to be. So it is a transformation. And, it's amazing to hear that you have experienced the same thing. It's very relatable. It's common. A lot of times I'm like, it's normal that most people go through these phases of life and transitions that you get caught up in the stuff, not intentionally. Nobody intends to make themselves not eat, not sleep, feel like crap, feel like they were losing relationships left and right that they really want to have. So it truly is like an unintentional consequence when we're not aware of what's going on within ourselves, more importantly than actually what's going on around us.
I wonder sometimes if that is due to being afraid of realizing that the person that you are is no longer sufficient for the future that you want. And when you're speaking to the women that you're helping, because you mentioned guilt, like how much does that play in when you're trying to get these women to transform? Because becoming someone that you're going to love may result in you becoming someone that someone else may no longer love.
Yeah. And, I have several trainings on just guilt. It's so real. And again, it's an unintentional feeling. We don't do things intentionally to make ourselves feel guilty. But a lot of that comes from that script that, I'm not good enough. I'm failing. I'm too scared to try something different, even though everything is telling me to do it. Right. Even when we talk about the working part of moms is, I didn't think I would get that promotion, so I didn't even try. And now I just feel really bad that I didn't give myself a chance. Or I chose to put more energy into my family at this time in my life and I got passed up. And now I'm like, was that the right choice? I don't know. And this is where that guilt can truly paralyze people. It does keep you stuck. And I like to look at guilt as kind of like it's a Band-Aid, right? We all are relatable to guilt. Guilt's kind of a universal feeling that most people understand what that is, what it feels like, things that are connected as to why people feel guilty. But my things, it's usually like a level 1, 2, 3 below that we don't want to address it. It's that fear, right? Like the guilt comes because I don't feel confident. And because I don't feel confident, I don't want to try. And then when I don't try, that goes against who I thought I was as a person. I was a person who was willing to try anything to try to grow and develop. And that is really where the transformation happens is what is that under there? Where's that fear kind of creeping up and keeping you covering up with guilt, right? Again, guilt's real, not saying that, but it's usually covering up other things. And that is a part of, the program that I work with women on is knowing where's that coming from? Like, where is that limit being set for you that you're having a hard time going beyond that to reduce the fear? Okay. Most of us fear is scary. Like, I don't want to do that. But I always say, like, if we are aware of the fear, okay, it's known. It's a known fear. I can have a plan for that. I can come up with some strategies to attack that fear. If I don't know it, because I don't want to go there, I don't really want to know what's under there, being maybe a different person, then it stays scary and I stay stuck. And I stay living in this space that doesn't allow me to really recharge and thrive. I just exist. I exist in a state of guilt-ridden fear because I don't know what's there. And my thing's like, go find it. You might love it. And if you don't like it, the beauty of the human being is there is always, 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 always the power of choice. I say the only time we truly don't have the power of choice is if we're no longer existing. we always have a choice how we think about it. Okay. Even in the worst scenarios. And I know some people get literally cringy on this and the eye rolls come in at times, but it's like, you can choose to think about your situation very differently. And, there's a lot of history out there about people who have survived really horrible, traumatic things based on mindset. They didn't give up. They chose to look at that in a very different way, as crazy and creative as it had to be to make it work for them to survive that moment, to survive that period of time, to survive that horrible, tragic thing. They had a choice in that. And so, I say, like, if what you find, you don't really like it, you can still choose to continue to grow and develop it into a place that you do love it, because we always have that choice. And, sometimes it's just giving ourselves permission that we can do that based off of, some of the things that we've heard over time. We've learned, it's ingrained in our head that this is just how it is. These are the cards I've been dealt. Why go searching to see if there's anything else in there? Because you can. And so that's where I have a lot of fun working with my clients in that space of, very supportively challenging them to just say, let's just see, like, what's it going to hurt? Like, if you don't like it, you can change it, right? We can shift that script 110 times if we need to. We can get you to where you want to be, where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe, where you feel you can thrive. But if you don't give yourself a chance, an opportunity, because you're scared, I get that. I didn't do it for a long time. But when you can, it's so empowering. It's kind of, again, I always say, it's a lot of people like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this so much sooner. I hear that millions of times. I wish I would have known this sooner. And again, that is what fuels me to, like, bring all of this to, all my working mamas out there. Is I don't want people to go years and decades of, being in that space of, oh, I just wish I would have known. I could have been such a better mom. I could have done all of these great things in my career. I just didn't know how to get there. And, the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but we didn't, and I always say, like, we got to let that go. That mindset is a whole nother shift, but when you get it, do it, use it, have fun with it, be creative, make it work for you. And, that's where I think a lot of us with that fear and guilt, it's hard to get out of that space. But when you do, it's freeing, just like you've done it. It feels amazing.